So I worked on this Hummingbird acoustic guitar for a friend of mine. It's made by Hondo. They made a lot of inexpensive guitars back in the 70s and 80s. And I really didn't anticipate doing a video like this, so I didn't take a lot of pictures. But anyway, I ran into a few problems, which I'll get into in a minute. That's actually the finished guitar, but you can see that it has one of those fancy adjustable bridges, which is adjustable with screws. And it might seem like a good idea, but it's not as practical as you might think, mainly because the sound transfer is pretty inefficient from the strings to the bridge with a bridge saddle like that. There's a close-up of the bridge, and you can see some damage, which I did not cause. Lots of scratches, lots of glue. Evidently, that bridge had been re-glued at some point, but you can see at the top center where there was a screw there, and first problem that I found was that screw just popped right off when I tried to adjust the height of the bridge. And the next problem that I encountered was that the bridge pins were really hard to pull out. You can see here that I ruined one of my bridge pin pullers, and I ended up having to use needle nose pliers to basically break them out. Turns out they were actually glued into those holes, which is wrong. I don't know if they were glued in intentionally or if it was just spillover from whenever they re-glued that bridge back on there. But anyway, I routed them out with my Dremel, and you can see here the holes are cleared, and I've even ramped the holes slightly, which also helps with sound transfer. This view is actually the best way to check the condition of the neck. And you can see I got it pretty straight. The only real issue is there's a slight kink in the neck right about where my thumb is pointing, which is unfortunately irreparable, but most of the neck plays just fine. These are just details of some of the scratches. I don't know how they got there or why they got there. Some of them look intentional, but anyway, it plays great, it sounds great. The guitar has a really cheap case and the handle was missing, so rather than buy a handle, I just made one. I had some branches in the backyard from an oak tree that I had trimmed, and I decided to get resourceful. There's more of a story there, but I'll leave it at that. I agreed to work on this guitar without really knowing what I was getting into. And when I received it, I saw a lot of damage. And as I began to work on it, I just saw more and more damage. I think a lot of people would have had no problem just handing this guitar back and saying it's worthless, maybe use it for firewood or something. The real reason that I put this video together was because this project was such a great reminder to me that there are things in this world and people in this world with tremendous potential. We may not see that potential at first, but if we keep looking for it, we find it, and then something beautiful happens.